welcome to Leaders of Tomorrow, 18 our special initiative that celebrates the undying entrepreneurial spirit of micro, small and medium enterprises. Here's what we have lined up on the show for you tonight. On our Insight segment, a conversation with Ideal Insurance. And on Bright Sparks tonight, we're featuring Value Shoppe and ID Fresh. Now, even as the online insurance space is getting more crowded, I caught up with the founder of Ideal Insurance on how innovation can go hand in hand with competition and what lessons you, the MSME entrepreneur, can take away from this conversation that I had earlier. Take a look. Let's start by talking to you about what led to the setting up of Ideal Insurance.
So, there's quite a story behind it. Actually, when I was in college, I wanted to go abroad for my MBA, so I thought let me have some work experience. So during college you wouldn't get a job anywhere, so that was the year 2001 when this private insurance companies has come to India. So I actually became an agent in one of these companies called Max New York Life. I did very well there and they sent me to America to represent the company. I actually became the youngest MDRT for the company. So then post my graduation I did my MBA from SPGN, and after that I wanted to start a company of my own. I didn't want to get into my family business, and I found insurance had a great potential. You know, it's still there was a huge lack of awareness that time. It's even now, and broking again was a new opportunity. Insurance broking started in India barely in 2003, and so that's how I got into this business, because I could see a lot of potential in the insurance industry.
Let's talk about the insurance audit market here in India that you have for startups and how it really works. You know, sort of just break it down for our viewers.
So actually, I'm an angel investor myself. So since I'm in the ecosystem, I interact with a lot of startups. So of late, we noticed that a lot of startups had started approaching us for insurance. So what we realized was, now most of these startups, they are into innovative business, right, which are quite disruptive, but at the same time the risk involved is also more. So they came with requirements of very innovative kind of product which were not available over the counter in the industry. So that's why we realized that there's a huge potential, for us to help the startups cope up with this risk management, right? So we created this vertical to help the startups understand what kind of risks are there involved, which are involved in their business, and how they can mitigate those risks with the help of insurance.
Do you develop the technology entirely in-house, Rahul? If yes, how does a startup innovate and what should they keep in mind about such innovation?
I mean, what we see in India, there are very, very few actually innovative startups. You know, most of the startups are ideas which are copied from abroad. I think the best way of innovation is to find out the pain points in today's market, right? Whichever industry you are in, you'll find that the customers are facing a lot of problems. So just addressing those problems will lead you to innovation. And innovation is not necessarily in technology only. It can be innovation in process. It can be innovation in strategy. For example, in our industry, I think insurance is one of the most competitive industry in the world. We personally are not very strong in technology. In fact, we have outsourced our technology to a technology incubation company. But now we are working more on innovation in products. Right, India is still a developing insurance market, and there are a lot of products which are not available in the country. So we are trying to develop new products for the masses. But for startups, I would say you have to start from understanding what the customer needs, and accordingly create a product which will address those pain points. For example, I mean, let's say this food delivery companies, right? So getting food delivered to your doorstep, it's been a long-standing problem. There have been a lot of companies, but how maybe a Swiggy has been able to come up the charts because they have been able to make the process very strong, where other companies have failed, right? So that's how, I mean, addressing the pain point of the customer is the best way to innovate.
Rahul, speaking of innovation, then why do we not see more innovation in the field of insurance, especially in the Indian market? What's your opinion on what possibly could change that?
So it's not that innovation is not happening, but yes, the pace of innovation is slow in India right now. But because there's a bigger problem of awareness, right? If you ask me, insurance is still a very nascent industry, and the awareness, the penetration is very low. And I'm sure once the awareness increases, innovation will follow. At the same time now, since the government has increased the FDI limit in the insurance industry, innovation is bound to happen with more international companies and money pouring in the country. So innovation is bound to happen. It's already happening from the last 2 years, and in the next 5-10 years, I'm sure you're going to see a lot of innovation in the insurance industry.
Rahul, insurance and online insurance in particular is becoming a very competitive market. If you were to talk to our viewers about how they should possibly go out standing out in such a market, based on your own experience, what would it be?
Our innovative focus is more on focusing on niche products where there is lack of awareness in the country. Coming to the online market, I don't think it's still very developed yet, right? There are very few players and who are also burning huge amount of money. I think the market is not ripe for online insurance in India. You can maybe generate a lot of referrals online, but still closing happens offline. So people go online, do their comparison, and then they call their agent or intermediary to buy that insurance. Having said that, we are also launching our online portal very soon by the name of one-to-one-policy.com, and there we are focusing. So our again focus is primarily on health insurance, not on other insurance like motor insurance or term insurance, which are probably low-hanging fruits for other companies. So why health insurance? Because that is one area where again there's a huge demand, and there's a lack of proper knowledge amongst the masses. So we want to be seen as a niche player in online health insurance. But going ahead, maybe 5 years, 10 years down the line, yes, online insurance is something which is going to be big.
Rahul, your tips for our viewers in building a niche in whatever industry they may be in, you of course have experience in insurance, but if you can talk to them about how you go about building such a niche.
So that I'll have to go back to Kotler, which I read probably 10, 11 years back, right? So you have to differentiate. If you really want to make good money and build a sustainable company, you have to differentiate. If you're doing what everyone is doing, you can never be the #1 player in the market, right? And differentiation starts from understanding what is not available in the market today, right? What more you can do from the compared to the competitors. Just by studying your consumer, just by studying your competitors, you can actually find a niche to play upon. So my advice is always to differentiate yourself and try to give more value addition to consumers. India is a very price sensitive market, but yes, even if still if you are able to provide some more value add to the consumer, you can create a great brand loyalty.
I understand that you also invest in companies, wearing the hat now of an investor in companies. What would your advice be for our viewers in terms of what you as an investor are possibly looking out for when you're looking at investing in a company?
I first look at the promoter, right? What is the passion and what drives the promoter? Is it only money, or is it, he's genuinely interested in building a company or a product? Then the next is his idea, whether the idea is scalable, whether it is profitable. So of course, and third is the team, right? What kind of a team is backing him? So these are my three priorities which I look at while investing in a company.
Rahul, you wear many hats. I understand you're also the ED of the Business Network International, which is involved in business networking, referrals, word of mouth marketing. How important are each of these, and what are some of the common mistakes that you see companies doing? And therefore, based on that, what advice would you have for the entrepreneurs who are watching this show?
So first, let's come to networking, right? Networking and relationship management. You pick up any business owner across the world, across industry, across any level of business, and you ask them one key skill a business owner needs is networking and relationship management, right? Because most of the business happens on even today on a golf course or on a coffee table. So networking is very crucial. Unfortunately, this most important tool is never taught in our schools or B schools, but networking and relationship management are the most crucial areas. Next is referrals. Again, in India is a very social country, it's a very emotional country, right? So compared to other Western countries, people work on contacts knowing each other. So they love to refer each other. Even you ask anyone you want to buy a phone, you will ask, which phone to buy, and you will prefer a known vendor, a shop which your friend owns or someone. So referral marketing is very, very strong in India. In fact, I come across people, and normally the answer I get is people get almost 60 to 90% of their business through referrals. So referral is working, and if you see the growth of BNI in India, now BNI has almost 15,000 members with 300 chapters, and they are growing almost like 100% in the last 2 to 3 years, which proves the importance of referral marketing. And finally, marketing, who can do away without marketing? I mean, so when you are, so there are two ways of growing, right? One, you need to have a good product and you need to market your product. If you have a good product and you're not marketing it, people will not come to know and you'll fail. Or if you have a bad product but you're still marketing it, you'll still fail. So, good product and marketing are something which goes hand in hand and unavoidable.
Given your own personal experience, one piece of advice for our entrepreneurs that you would have, Rahul?
So I see there's a mad rush now to just raise money, right? The entrepreneurs are not focusing on building a product or a company, creating a team, making the fundamentals of the company strong. The entire focus is how do I raise more money. I think people have to come out of that mad rush and focus on their company and their product. If the product is good, if the team is good, money will follow. So that's what my piece of 2 pence.
Let's take a break. On the other side, we'll feature Value Shoppe and ID Fresh. Welcome back. On our Bright Spark segment tonight, we're going to feature Value Shoppe and ID Fresh. Tonight on Bright Sparks, we bring you a brand that is adding value to your shopping and becoming a boon for lifestyle and lifestyle brands. Libza Manan has a story for us. Take a look.
Are you someone who loves to wear branded clothes and accessories but are skeptical about your spending? Then Value Shop is your one-stop solution. Bringing numerous brands and latest fashion trends under one umbrella, Value Shop's founder Satyendra Singh is offering consumers value for money products.
So what do you have in store for the retailers as well as the brands who are associated with Value Shoppe?
For retailers, earlier retailers used to have few selected places across the nation where they can go and purchase the bulk. But we have developed a parallel channel for them, wherein they can come up and seek the goods of their interest and purchase them. When those small retailers will be carrying their brands to their shops and in their region, so the spreading out of that brand augments.
Well, you help businesses in maximizing inventory, but what does Value Shoppe do with its leftover stock of goods?
Inventory is unsold because either the price point was there, or the location was not appropriate, or the salesmanship was not there. Value Shoppe uses its smartness to attract the bulk buyers or the small retailers to procure that inventory from Value Shoppe or through Value Shoppe, and simultaneously Value Shoppe deploys that inventory in their in its retail channel, wherein it keeps on moving its inventory in the retail channel so fast so that it liquidates it.
And most importantly, what sort of discounting does Value Shoppe offer consumers?
We generally give 50% or 60% of discounting, and depending on the items available in the market. Simultaneously, when it comes to a bulk buyer, because it depends on the buyer. If bulk buyer who is really willing to purchase, we even giving more discounting out of it. But the bestest thing which we find out of it is that whatever is there is the best price available with us.
Absolutely. So besides being in an unorganized industry, what would you say are some of the other challenges of this space?
We all know that there are brands prevalent in a copyright mechanism, and even too many drives had not been taken care of. So we believe that given an opportunity, we can cater to anti-piracy drive as well, wherein if all the brands are routed through Value Shoppe only, so people will get to know that whatever is being routed through Value Shoppe, or there is a Value Shoppe certification therein, so people will get to know that this is the original thing, and rest everything is there available in the market is pirated one. So we can, the piracy currently prevalent in the market is a challenge to us.
Right. So Satyendra, what would you say are some of the reasons that often lead to the accumulation of dead stock, and what advice do you have for businesses so that they can avoid such a scenario?
Each and everyone is aware of that something would be left out of me, which I will be selling it out. But the corresponding or attributable pricing or the costing of the same has already been included in the mainstream business. So whatever is left is just a ancillary aspect without getting much of the attention, because it is not that much of volume for them as compared to the mainstream business. So this is one of the reason out of it. So my advice is to that if they're being associated with a proper channel, so that stage of piling up would never ever be coming up.
And what are the different distribution channels that you have opted to reach out to consumers today?
We have our website, although it is in the beta version right now, so it is in the deployment stage at the moment. But yes, so many curation are still taken care of, and apart from it, our network and the historical buyers from so many different places, and all the data banks and all the retailers. We even go to market. We even opt for go-to-market strategy wherever people go to market and attract the local customers.
Whether it's fashionable clothing or trendy footwear, Value Shop offers shoppers and buyers an opportunity to purchase goods of a higher market value at rock-bottom prices. With multiple outlets across India, Value Shop is helping quench the thirst of the brand-conscious masses.
Once we get the list from the sellers that whatever they want to liquidate their stock, we float that information in our network of buyers, and then we get the best quote out of that stock from that buyers. So we are helping sellers in liquidating their stock at a best of price they will get from the market.
Basically, when a brand comes to us, when a seller is onboarded on our platform, so that stuff is taken care by the retail segment. So we are taking the stuff that is acting as a samples for the buyers also. So we are procuring that stuff in retail stores. Second step is the corporate carnivals, and third step is the buyers.
With an aim to make India fashionable at pocket-friendly prices, the brand plans to tap more cities across the country. So if retail brands want to get rid of their dead stock or are looking to wind down, Value Shop is always at their service.
Now, when we say good food, you instantly think of delicious exotic food, only to return to the richness and satiation of a homemade meal, making sure that people across the country are able to indulge in 100% natural Indian meals is the company ID Fresh. Bani Sinha caught up with the founder to bring you tips on acing the fresh food industry. Take a look.
In a crowded landscape dotted with online food delivery apps, the average Indian these days is missing out on delicious homemade meals. Ask PC Mustafa, the founder of Bengaluru-based ID Fresh Foods, a pioneer in the ready-to-cook segment, and he will tell you that the love for fresh homemade meals is inscribed in the very DNA of his brand.
ID Fresh as a company has come a long way since it first started. What inspired you to embark upon this journey?
My cousins were running a small-time kirana store back in Bangalore, and they were getting a batter supplier. They had a batter supplier who were not able to meet the hygiene standards, quality standards, and the service expectation. He tried to fix it multiple times with the vendor. Didn't work out. So finally, we thought fixing it ourselves, and that's how the concept of ID was born.
The food and beverage industry is quite a competitive one, and especially the packaged food industry. With ID Fresh products, what is the gap that you want to bridge in the existing market space?
ID has a very unique proposition to consumer. We deal with 100% natural fresh food, which are free from chemicals or preservatives, thereby give an option for a homemaker to cook the traditional meal at home without going through the hassle of preparing the batter or the other ingredients.
Now, ID Fresh as a brand focuses specifically on Indian meals. Do you think it is better for entrepreneurs or MSMEs in this space to focus on something specific rather than diversifying, or would you suggest vice versa?
We manufacture the ready-to-cook food ingredients the way our grandmothers used to make at home, and provide it in a smart pack to end consumer, so that he or she could use it to make the final food. We'll also consider related products to diversify into, so that as long as it's aligned with our basic core principle of ID, which is again natural, no chemicals, no preservatives, and fresh.
ID Fresh Foods has a turnover of over 100 crore rupees today within a decade of starting out as an idli dosa stall in Bengaluru. While the fresh food segment is difficult to crack given the restricted shelf life of products, ID Fresh Foods has been able to crack it.
Now at ID Fresh, you focus on 100% natural ingredients. How are you able to then curate products which are absolutely natural and durable as well?
So we are actually focused on fresh food. When everyone is fighting or when everyone is doing R&D about long shelf life products, we are working on reducing our shelf life so that we are able to serve fresh food. We work on a zero inventory model wherein we don't stock up our products in any of the places during our supply chain, whether it is at the homemaker's kitchen or at the grocery store or even during our transit. We ensure zero inventory on a daily basis so that end consumers gets a fresh product. When a traditional FMCG business runs at a 6 to 7% wastage, even with a 12-month shelf life products, in a mature city, in mature product, we operated it at 2% wastage for a mature product. And we have built our systems and processes in such a way that we are able to manage and predict the store demand and thereby manage the overall logistics and serve it fresh to end consumer.
In a competitive food and beverages market, it is quite difficult to make a brand and also catch eyeballs. What have your branding and marketing strategies been like so that people associate with the brand of ID Fresh?
We work on a 360-degree marketing approach. We are initially it was a word of mouth which worked for us. Sampling did a lot of magic for us. Consumers who have tried our products a couple of times have become addicted to the brand ID. Last year we also tried a unique marketing strategy which is to build trust among our consumers. We introduced a concept of trust shop, and these trust shops are an unmanned shop working smoothly across 42 locations without any technology or camera, anything in place. This has helped us a lot in terms of getting a virality for the concept and build trust with our consumers.
A lot of our viewers who are entrepreneurs themselves look forward to a lot of advice from people we speak to on the show. So if you had to give a piece of advice to entrepreneurs watching the show in the food and beverages space, what would that be?
Stay focused. Don't end up doing anything and everything in the world. If you are passionate about something and if you think that's working out, do that, prove it and make it work.
It turns out that you can take an Indian away from home but not his homemade food. With parotas, idlis and dosas made exactly as you like it, ID Fresh products are your one-way ticket to nostalgia.
That's our episode tonight. Then on the Leaders of Tomorrow, we've brought you tips for you, the entrepreneur who's in the insurance space. Do remember that if you have any tips for us, if you have anything that you would like to let us know, do write in to us at leadersoftomorrow@timesgroup.com. You can reach us on social media using the hashtag LOT. You can tweet at me personally at Sunanda_J or call us on that number you see on your screen. We promise to have all your questions answered. Thanks for watching. Have a good night.